How is it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store's holiday sale has kicked off, and I am here to look at some of the historic low prices for the game deals. So these games are cheaper than ever. There's even more than what I'm gonna go over in this video, but I picked out 15 deals that are cheaper than ever that I think are pretty good, and we will get right into it. But before that, I do want to mention the holiday sales got a lot of great games discounted, and if you do want to get these games even cheaper, our friends at Instant Gaming will have the hookup where you can get your PSN wallet credit even cheaper. Link in the description box below. All you have to do is buy a discounted PSN wallet code, check out, you'll get a voucher code immediately, and then you can redeem it either on the PlayStation website or via your PlayStation 5 console. You just redeem the code and you'll get $100 if you buy a $100 code for $93 and so on and so forth. So check that out, link in the description box below, and we do get an affiliate kickback, which is much appreciated. Now on to the video. We've got a lot of good deals, so let's get started with Gears of War Reloaded. Man, this game came out 4 months ago, already 50% off for $19.99. It really feels like some of the Microsoft published titles, absolute crap show as far as what goes on sale and how quickly. Like, brothers, Forza Horizon 5 still $60 for the premium edition on a 4-year-old game. What is going on? But I mean, you could say Gears of War Reloaded is, what, a 20-year-old game? But nevertheless, $19.99 on it, I think, is pretty good. I know that people had their issue. Multiplayer servers were kind of a disaster. Like, dude, I bought this game to go through the campaign again, and I had a great time with the campaign, and it's one of those campaigns that I will go back and play through multiple times. Is it dated in some regards? I think the checkpoint system is pretty bad, but overall, had a really enjoyable time with it, and it's one of those games you can get in and get out pretty quickly. And if you got a buddy to play with as well, even better. 2-player co-op, which is enjoyable. $19.99 on that. I think it's a good pickup, and definitely still, even 4 months later, a little bit surreal to see Gears on PlayStation. But man, next year with Halo on PlayStation, gonna be even more surreal. Next up, we do have Alan Wake 2, which is 70% off for $17.99. This was just a PlayStation Plus Essential title, so a lot of you guys have it via Plus Essential. $17.99 on this is a pretty good deal. I've had my criticisms of this game. I actually just did another playthrough of it, and I still think the level design in this game is an atrocity. I think it is so bad in some regards, and it is so confusing, and sometimes, dude, when it comes to a part of a game being annoying, this being too challenging, I think that, you know, maybe it's just a me problem, and I like to see if other people have the same complaints, and Alan Wake 2, it absolutely, there is that level of people having the same complaints. Just look up anything about this game. A lot of people will criticize the level design in this game, and if you go into the trophies of this game, which is something I've been liking to do recently, and looking at where people are dropping games, and I know it's skewed a little bit because a lot of people played it on PlayStation Plus, but still, in, I believe it's chapter 3 of the game where you play as Saga, which is one of the more annoying sections of the game. That's one of the early chapters in the game. It has a 26% completion rate or something like that. That's how many people drop the game within the first couple of hours. Just let that sink in. No, the level design of this game is so bad at times, but I do think the visuals are incredible. I think the voice acting is great. The soundtrack is phenomenal, and I did enjoy the story. I know some people didn't think the ending was all too satisfying, but I overall did enjoy the story, and, you know, I'm interested to see where the Remedy-connected universe goes in the future. I'm definitely looking forward to Control Resonant, but I hope that they learned some things from the level design in Alan Wake 2, because at times I really thought it was just straight up atrocious. I thought some of the puzzles were really bad, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. $17.99, again, a lot of people really love this game, and it's one of their favorite games. It was up for Game of the Year in 2023, so I get it, but yeah, $18 on that. Next up, we have Disco Elysium, the final cut, 75% off for $9.99. Excellent game. I know that there's a lot of controversy with Zaum and everything that went on with them, but Disco Elysium is a really, really well done game, man. From a writing standpoint, I think the game is outstanding. I think the story is really good, a little bit methodical, a little bit slower paced, but very much a worthwhile game to go through. And if you want something narrative heavy, I highly recommend that. Next up, we do have the Pathless, 75% off for $9.99. Man, this is one of the forgotten games. I feel it was a PlayStation 5 launch title from the creators of Abzu. The Pathless is the mythic adventure of an archer and an eagle in a vast forest. It notes archery and falconry. Become the hunter and master of archery who travels to a mystical island to dispel a curse of darkness that grips the world. Forge a connection with your eagle companion and soar through the air, perform fluid acrobatics, and execute awesome trick shots with a unique archery system that allows effortless shooting while moving at high speeds. Explore an open world, forge your own path through a beautiful open world packed with secrets to find, traverse misty forests, lush meadows, and snowy tundras, hunt corrupted spirits as well. All of that for $9.99 in the Pathless. Next up, we do have Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, 50% off for $29.99. The From Software titles do generally hold up in price, especially they hold up in price from a digital standpoint. They will ultimately go on sale physically, like Elden Ring. A lot of you guys got a physical copy of that for $15. Huge W on that. A lot of people got physical copies of Armored Core 6 for $20, and it's just... it is what it is in that regard, but, you know, you guys know me. I love me my mecha action. We need more games of gigantic robots clashing, and I loved Armored Core 6. I thought this was such a good game. I would recommend you to play this game blind without a guide, just because I feel like trial and error with this game is such a core part of it, and I say that as I'm essentially having my own personal guides playing Elden Ring again right now. You know, I'm a little bit hypocritical in that regards, but nonetheless, with Armored Core 6, I think the customization and you figuring out what parts work best in each individual mission is such a big part of it. But hey, if you want to use a guide and you just want to feel like a badass throughout the entire game, more power to you, and you could go through it that way as well. $29.99 on that. I think it's a good pickup, but yeah, it is cheaper physically, so keep that in mind. Unicorn Overlord, 65% off for $21. It is available on PlayStation Plus Extra. I loved Unicorn Overlord, but I absolutely glaze Vanillaware whenever I get the chance. They are an exceptionally talented studio that their games deserve a lot more love. Unfortunately, Unicorn Overlord came out a week after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so I just don't know how much attention the game was gonna get, but seemingly did well enough, and it's an enjoyable tactics JRPG. Has a fantastic art style. I mean, the Vanillaware games, I feel like they always stand out from a presentation standpoint, and it's just a worthwhile JRPG to go through. And I'm not super into tactics games, but I enjoyed this. Narratively, it was good. It wasn't 13 Sentinels good, but it was still a pretty darn good narrative-driven title as well. Definitely would recommend it. $21. It does have a large cast of characters, and whenever you have a game, it's not sweet code in large cast, but, you know, when you have this many characters, not all of them are going to get a significant amount of depth, but it is what it is. $21 on that. Good pickup there. Kena Bridge of Spirits, 70% off for $11.99. Another PlayStation launch title, and certainly one of the standouts. PlayStation 5 launch title was a cross-gen game. A story-driven action platformer. The gameplay is serviceable, but the visuals in this game are just superb. And also a fairly relaxing game to go through. Not super lengthy. You can complete it in like 8 to 10 hours, but sometimes, again, that's exactly what you'll want out of a game after playing so many lengthy 70-hour RPGs, so to speak. And speaking of 70-hour RPGs, we do have Persona 3 Reload. It is 60% off for $23.99. Persona 3 Reload is an awesome game from a narrative standpoint. Some of the gameplay, being that this is a fairly true to the original remake, is a little bit dated, especially the design of the Tartarus, but I still thought this game was fantastic, man, and I love this game from a narrative standpoint. It tells a great story, and the thematics by the end of this game, how it comes together, I just thought are really, really well done. It would have been nice if, you know, the epilogue content was just baked into this game and wasn't DLC, but what can you do? Sega gonna Sega these days, and yeah, I had a great time with it, and like I said, from a narrative standpoint, just the themes the game explores, I think I appreciate it so much more versus when I played it when I was, you know, I forget how old I was when I initially played Persona 3. It was like 2007, 2008, so I was like 12, 13 years old at that time. You know, I couldn't appreciate this game for the thematics, but now going through it, I just really enjoyed it from that regard as well. But $24 on that, great pickup there. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown Complete Edition, 60% off for $15.99. You get Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and the DLC content. Look, this game, in my opinion, had one of the worst debuts of all time. Like, Ubisoft was so cooked in terms of who's greenlighting trailers like this? Who greenlights the Concord Burger trailer? It's just people that are totally out of touch with the gaming populace, I feel. But The Lost Crown turned out to be a really, really solid action Metroidvania. I thought some of the puzzles were really well done. I thought the gameplay was enjoyable. The visual style was great. For $15.99 to get the DLC as well, I think that's a solid pickup, man, and I would definitely recommend it at this price point. Again, had a good time with it, and certainly think a lot of you guys will end up enjoying it. Next up, we have Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, 20% off for $39.99. Really enjoyed Final Fantasy Tactics and this upgraded release of it. You do have the original version preserved in the game, which I love to see that as well. Not really my cup of tea. Like, if I can play the newer version with all of the quality of life improvements, I'm usually gonna go that route. But for the people that want the original experience, you've got that as well. Some things I loved about this game, the voice acting is phenomenal. Like, top to bottom, I thought they did a fantastic job with the cast they had in this game. And the game itself is really, really good as far as a tactics JRPG. It's just very enjoyable. You know, definitely you want to figure out the right builds and the right setups as far as each individual mission goes, and it can get pretty darn challenging. There is that RNG element to the game, which I swear that this game was just, by the end, rolling favors for me as far as me getting super lucky that the tail end of the game, I just breezed right through it, and a lot of the aspects of those games you thought would be some more of the challenging parts of the game, like the whole ending sequence, which is a pretty arduous sequence. I one-shotted the whole thing, as in I did it all in one try, which is insane. You know, I'm trash at a lot of these games that you would think a little bit of trial and error would be needed, but I was just rolling really well with the RNG. But yeah, had a great time with it. Story's good, a little bit more of a grounded Final Fantasy story, which I did really appreciate, and, you know, it just came out, so it's not a sizable discount, but a great game there for sure. Lords of the Fallen, 50% off for $14.99. I know, you know, there's been a lot of discussion, let's put it that way, with Lords of the Fallen 2, some statements on social media and whatnot, but I enjoyed Lords of the Fallen. Man, you guys know how I feel about the action Souls-like games. They are not my cup of tea, but Lords of the Fallen, I enjoyed a lot of aspects of this game. I thought it set itself apart with, like, the Realms gimmick, and I get it, some of the puzzles and whatnot, maybe some people weren't crazy about them. The performance was a disaster right out the gate, and you know, it is what it is. Hopefully they do a better job with Lords of the Fallen 2, but I look at Lords of the Fallen 2, man, like, again, I'm not a big Souls-like guy, but what I've seen out of that game, I think it looks pretty darn good, and I'm sure the Souls-like fiends will be all over it, but for $15, I do think Lords of the Fallen is a pretty good deal, and they've been updating the hell out of this game, and I hate that now it's like a bad thing for them to update this game and add more content and fix things up. Look, clown the game for being a bad launch, but why are we now also clowning a game for the development studio updating the game and making it better over the course of 2 years, like consistent updates for the game? I give them a lot of credit for that. I don't give them credit for having an absolutely disastrous launch, but they've done a lot of work in improving the experience as well, so obviously I can appreciate that. Look, there are so many games that come out in disastrous states. At least this is one studio that did update after update for 2+ years. We can appreciate that across the board, I feel, but I digress. $14.99 on that, I do think is a pretty good pickup. Next up, one of my favorite games of 2025, Ninja Gaiden 4 is 30% off for $49. I thought this game was outstanding. As far as an action game goes, like, this is one of the best games I've played. Probably, as far as a game making you feel like a badass, this is one of the best games I've ever played. I do not think that's hyperbole. I think this game makes you feel like a badass, unlike a lot of other games. Like, the clear comparison point I can draw is like Metal Gear Rising. Metal Gear Rising did an incredible job of making you feel overpowered. At times, Ninja Gaiden 4 makes you feel like a badass, and it's so satisfying. Now, I played the game on normal difficulty, and it was fairly simple to go through it. I do want to go back, and because of how much I enjoyed this game, I want to play it on Master Ninja difficulty at some point. That'll happen sometime down the line, and I'm not committing to beating the game at Master Ninja difficulty. Like, I'm just not that good at video games, but I really enjoyed Ninja Gaiden 4, and again, if the challenge does worry you a little bit, if I can get through it on normal, any of you guys can get through it on normal. Like, don't worry about that whatsoever, but yeah, very enjoyable game, $49 on that, and a fantastic soundtrack as well, so definitely check that out. Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered, 30% off for $17.49. I thought this game came out at a really good price point already at $24.99, but at $17.49, man, this is a really good pickup, and I played Shadows of the Damned back when it came out on the PlayStation 3 way back in the day, and it was a great game on there, and it's a Suda51 PS1 title, so it definitely has its zaniness, its wackiness, but I enjoyed it, and if you want something that's you know, quick to the point, I think a lot of you guys will end up enjoying this. Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak, 84% off for $9.59. To get both the base game and the expansion for under $10, that's an exceptionally good deal. I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter guy in the world, but the gameplay is always fairly enjoyable and definitely a rewarding game to go through. $9.59 on that I think is quite good. And when did this come out on PlayStation 5? I feel like it wasn't that long ago, 2023. And now that you could get the base game and the DLC for $9.59, that's a stellar deal. So definitely check that out. And then lastly, while it's not at a deep discount, Digimon Story Time Stranger is 20% off for $55.99. Love Digimon Story Time Stranger, thought it was such a great game. Now, did it have its issues? Absolutely. As I've said, I thought some of the side content was atrocious, and you kind of need to do it because it's tied to the agent rank, which is tied to you digivolving your Digimon. But the main story was incredibly strong. The gameplay and the turn-based battles I thought were really well done. And for $56, you know, it's a sizable price point, but them's the breaks. It came out 2 months ago, so it is what it is, as I like to say. The DLC is garbage from what I hear. I haven't played it myself, but very unfortunate. It seems to be a recurring theme when it comes to games that are selling you DLC before the game even comes out. They just aren't incentivized to drop quality DLC, and a lot of the times it ends up pretty mediocre. Fingers crossed that the Ninja Gaiden 4 DLC turns out pretty well, but confidence not strong at this point. But that'll do it for me. Again, a lot of great historic low game deals as a part of the holiday sale. Check them out for yourself. As always, sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.